Sundown and Stone Bitter, bringing you the best in rugby league.
At one of rugby league's most famous addresses, they're convinced they can avoid relegation. After all, Featherstone and their fans have had plenty of practice. 3 years ago, for instance, when victory against today's opponents, Hulkingston Rovers, set them on the road to a startling recovery. They could do with a repeat dose this year. Featherstone remain only a place above the bottom two, with much work to do, but a 29-6 midweek demolition of Warrington suggested the Houdini spirit is still very much alive at Post Office Road. Driving them on in recent weeks, £100,000 prop Leo Casey, living up to his price tag, injury worries forgotten. And the man in form in the scoring stakes, Ikram Butt, 3 tries in 2 games. So, in the pubs and clubs of Featherstone, hope springs eternal.
I think they're very good at the moment. They're playing really well now. They're starting to get together. At Castleford last week, they were really unlucky, and it showed on Wednesday night that they can play and they're capable of beating any team in the league at Post Office Road.
If they play like they played on Wednesday and last Sunday, they'll definitely stay up.
If they're all together, they can beat anybody. Like, we should have won at Castleford, and I still think we were off last week for Challenge Cup.
Mind you, Hulkingston Rovers followers need lessons from no one in looking on the bright side of life. Loyal and enthusiastic through the team's darkest hours, they now have a premiership place in sight at the end of the tunnel. You'd have got long odds against them being as high as 7th by this stage, with every chance of staying in the top 8. Coach George Fairbairn's reward this week was a new 2-year contract. One of those who flourished under his leadership, Wright Soje, now in the season's top 10 try scorers, 18 so far.
Every first division team, there's a pack of stars, and when you come to Grevin Park, there are not many individuals there, but I think George Fairbairn has done a good job guiding the team, local lads together.
And today the Robins welcome back Wayne Parker, their captain, who's missed most of the season with 2 dislocated shoulders. One other change, prop Zook Emma moved up from substitute because Des Harrison hurt his neck in last week's 25-22 victory at Wakefield. Dean Clark is the newest player in the lineup, New Zealand Test standoff signed from Scarborough. Featherstone are unchanged. Andy Fisher, who came off near the end against Warrington with a shoulder injury, is fit again. Paul Newlove will be out to convince Malcolm Reilly he was wrong to leave him out of the full Great Britain squad to play France, though he is in the under-21 ranks. We'll see 4 of the league's top 5 later: St Helens against Leeds, Castleford versus Warrington, plus the jigsaw result and a special competition as we approach the 100th rundown. Commentating on the 99th, as ever, David Watkins and John Hell.
Yes, 99 not out, and looking forward to this encounter here at Post Office Road today, just as much as we are Castleford against St Helens, which brings up the 100 next week. Hulkingston Rovers have elected to come down the hill to start with. David, I think one interesting point, Featherstone Rovers did have a tough game against Warrington during the week. Hulkare have had 7 days to prepare for this. What sort of difference does that make?
Well, some people thrive on playing, others like to prepare for the game, but I mean the game is so fast and hard now that I would have thought it's essential that you have time to prepare, and so in that case Hulkare must be better prepared for this game than Featherstone.
So that win for Featherstone will certainly have encouraged them. Derek Fox kicks high and long and up the middle, where it's controlled by fullback Mike Fletcher. And he eludes the first tackle, which was by Pearson. Chris Harrison, the young prop forward who's made an impact this season, his first season of first-team rugby. It's Fletcher, Paul Fletcher. The Fletchers and the Harrisons have been much in evidence for Hulkingston Rovers this season. Paul Lyman, now Speckman, Andy Thompson. And let's pay tribute immediately to Derek Fox, who today plays his 300th game for Featherstone Rovers, and that is a marvellous achievement in this game. Is that not right, David? 300 games is phenomenal performance.
It is really, when you talk about the hurly-burly of rugby league football, and I think another important thing is really how well he's played throughout that time.
That was one heck of a push back. And Hulkingston Rovers showing that they're really steamed up for their task today. George Fairbairn has got them in the right mood. We arrived at the ground at the same time as the Hulkingston Rovers coach, and the team was watching a video. Motivational purposes, I've no doubt. There is Fox's pass along the line from Rose, spilled, and Barkwood will be on the ball in a flash. And this gives Hulkingston Rovers the chance with Paul Lyman, a Featherstone lad, of course, playing against his hometown team. Parker missing out the first man. Speckman gives it to the second man, and this might well be a score. The first of the afternoon goes to Hulkingston Rovers. Mike Fletcher coming into the line from fullback, and an easy score for Hulkingston Rovers.
What a start Hulkingston Rovers have had. They've pressed considerably since the start of this game. They've forced their way now, and it's a really well-timed pass. The fullback comes into the line, and Fletcher goes over for what seemingly is an easy try.
An easy try indeed, which he will attempt to convert himself, and only his second try of the season. His first came in a 22-14 defeat by Castleford. That try has come very quickly for Hulkingston Rovers. And with the conversion to go with it, they storm into a 6-0 lead. And that's just the start George Fairbairn would have wanted.
It's been all pressure from Hulkingston Rovers. It merely means a long pass out along the line, people backing up, which is what people expect from this side, and that's straight on the burst for Fletcher and opens up a scoring opportunity.
Leo Casey has had his injury problems since he moved here for a fee of £100,000 from Oldham. He's back in the fray today. Ian Smales rode that challenge well. This gives Featherstone a chance, and Terry Manning goes hot foot towards the line. Owen Simpson's pressed the first man, comes inside the second. Can he get the ball away? No, because it's a good tackle on him. Owen Simpson looks as though he might well get Featherstone's first try there. He's fleet of foot. Still they're going on the short side. Perhaps they'll spread it this time. Derek Fox, Brendan Tutor, not sure which way to go, then held up as he straightened up. Good defensive work from the Robins. Well, that was good work from first Manning and then Simpson, and now it's Fox, and he brings on Ian Smales, who'd started that move off. The ball went back, and that's all right. Simpson coming in field, 5 tackles gone through. And this will be hoisted by Fox. He knows where to put the ball all right, and that's a nasty one to take over the line, and the Featherstone man dives on it. And Featherstone Rovers, with Andy Fisher, were looking for the score, but the referee has in fact awarded the handover. It's no try.
Well, it just goes to show as well what a forceful set of backs Featherstone Rovers have when they move the ball out wide, and that was a great kick by Derek Fox there. Unfortunately, it appeared an offside decision, and he's back to a play the ball, and that's some relief for Hulkingston Rovers. What a superbly timed kick. I mean, this is inch perfect, really. I mean, it's unfortunate that people were deemed to be in front. I think it was a knock forward as well when we see it here. But really, there wasn't much in it.
Bruising work from Zukema. Brad Sodji was telling me before the game that he had a personal nightmare here. He made his first appearance on this ground at Post Office Road and a stinker under lights, and wants to put the record straight today. Parker's kick should be fielded easily by Bibb. It is. Oh, and that's good work once more from the Great Britain fullback Chris Bibb. That is a chance for his country, of course, on that tour to Papua New Guinea and New Zealand. That's not a good pass. Gary Rose still trying to make something from it. The tackle shook Bibb.
It certainly did. This is one of the assets that they have now. They're more moving up together in defence and closing down very quickly.
Confusion there, really, although Derek Fox has still had the presence of mind to fall on the ball. Ikram Butt had come inside. Featherstone still moving this ball around very impressively. That's a bad pass, however, and that will give Hulkingston Rovers a chance, and Paul Lyman picked it up. And the penalty is awarded to Featherstone Rovers. Fox says that he'll put the ball into touch. Featherstone need a score of their own. This is Leo Casey, who tries to turn into a tackle, turning his back into it to give himself some space to pass the ball. Fox in the move twice already. Now Tuta, Newlove. He's a bit close for him there, and Paul Wyman, who knows him well, tackled him. Tuta, he's got this one away. Newlove must run at the line, and he will do, and they shouldn't give him that sort of space because Newlove can take advantage of it. Clarkwood holds on to him, helped out by Harrison. Tight down that corner, so they swing it left to right. Fox tries to bring on Leo Casey once more, gets it away. There might be a score now for Fisher. No, he's held up. Still Featherstone have the ball. They can keep the move going. Martin Pearson tries to tunnel his way in, held up on his back, and one more chance has gone for Featherstone.
Well, that's amazing because their confidence is sky high. He elected not to kick for goal, continued to move the ball because I feel that they have the inner confidence to know now that their backs are moving well and a score is bound to come.
It certainly looks that way, although the ball has come out on the Hulkingston Rovers side. And then it's put down, and Fox, this must be a good effort for Ikram Butt, a really good chance for Featherstone Rovers now. 5 more tackles from this position. They're 6 points behind, but very much in the ascendancy. It's been an excellent first 15 minutes to the game. But keep reminding you, Featherstone haven't yet scored. They should now. They should now. Ian Smales barges his way in. And he's held up right on the line. It could hardly have been closer. Sometimes it seems as though they're almost trying to do too much themselves, and Fox is held up now. 2 more tackles to go to try and break this Hulkingston Rovers line. Are they going to run out of options? That's the last tackle. They might even opt for a Fox drop goal. No, he's positioned on the right, so it would seem that they're still going for a try. So he kicks high, and they look to gather this ball, and it's well held by Sujay.
Well, that was a superb take under a tremendous amount of pressure then. And one has to hold their hands up and say what a marvellous defence Hulkingston Rovers had then in front of that onslaught that Featherstone did, moving the ball out wide 3 or 4 times.
That's right, David. I mean, one of the last occasions we saw them was in that humiliating experience at Sheffield last season when they conceded, I think it was 62 points. They've tightened up on defence.
They certainly have, and their team spirit is good, and I'm sure this has done a lot to George Fairbairn. You have a happy team and players playing for each other, and you get far more effort out of them, and certainly Hulkingston Rovers are putting that effort in now.
Alice puts boot to ball, like Speckman, and it's a pretty good kick as well, because it means that Bibb has to go right across for it to pick up, and then start from inside his own 25. And he starts well and continues well.
It makes an awful lot of ground, this Chris Bibb. He runs at people, like can sidestep on a sixpence, leaves people standing, and that's good. It makes his teammates feel good as well when he comes forward every time.
Malcolm really spoilt the choice, really, at full-back. We've seen Graham Steadman recently, Alan Tate, Steve Hampson, and this fellow's in the frame as well.
He certainly is, and it is a position, as I've said many, many times before, where you do have a lot of opportunities, and if you are a player of any skill at all, you can make it a position to score a lot of points from.
And Wayne Parker is going to be spoken to by referee Morris before play resumes. So is Derek Fox. The 2 skippers, the 2 number 7s. The referee's saying that he's using his 2 eyes as well. He's not missed much. Strong words from referee Morris.
Well, that's a good thing because it leaves players. What he has to do is follow up on that now. It's no good making those sort of remarks and then perhaps letting players off. But it does really put the game in its right proportion.
Featherstone are 6 points behind. Fox. Good ball. Fisher. Fox is able to play the ball from a position on the ground. And they've got 6 more tackles because it did touch Hulkingsley Rovers player. Smales much involved. It's a rather haphazard pass, but Pearson makes something of it. Gary Rose this time, and now Paul Newland takes it and tries to skip inside. There wasn't much room for him, and he can't get the ball away because of exemplary tackling once more from Hulkingsley Rovers. Casey tests them out on the chest. The referee signals that. Fox. Tuta, longer ball. Terry Manning, and this might be the first try for Featherstone. No, he's again not been able to ground the ball over the line, and that is so disappointing for Featherstone Rovers. They keep getting into these good try-scoring positions and can't finish them.
Let's just watch it again. It's another superb pass here. Man comes onto the ball on the burst and really goes for the line fully here, but leaves the ball behind him there. It was picked up and brought over. Very difficult to understand what the referee really meant there, but it wasn't a score.
Well, they've certainly given Alan Agar plenty to think about. He's on his position here on the gantry alongside us, and he will have been bitterly disappointed by some of the chances that have gone begging already. Harrison puts it down. Another chance for Featherstone Rovers if they get this ball out. Terry Manning. There have been errors, and we'll bring you our usual check on the statistics of the game just after half-time. Pearson. We saw Pearson score 4 marvellous tries against Halifax earlier this season. He's not been as prolific since then. He's not scored since then. But Featherstone want him and Newlove in there now, as they still look for their first score. Casey. 5 yards out, 5 tackles. This the last one. Fox. The whistle goes, and that will be an offside. And this does give Featherstone their chance.
I suppose offside was inevitable there. They've called upon in defence so many times, they have been in this last 20 minutes, that they really don't know quite what to repel against it. And by coming up very quickly, the referee has caught them now, and it's a penalty opportunity to Featherstone.
Derek Fox attempts to bring Featherstone Rovers their first points of the day. And he's achieved it, and it's now Featherstone 2, Hulkingsley Rovers 6. George Fairbairn, as Nick said at the top of the programme, he was awarded a 2-year contract earlier in the week. He's thoroughly deserved that, and he's really engendered a terrific team spirit at Craven Park. But the handling errors are plenty, 15 all told. Chase it, Fox's kick, and chase it Newland does, and it will bend how it bounces, and it fell kindly for Fletcher, the fullback. Well, that gave Paul Newlove the chance to show his pace. An intelligent kick once more from Fox.
It really was, yes. It was a different way of breaking the game up. He saw that the defence was up very flat, ready for the ball to be moved out. Found the middle of the field. It is difficult in the middle of the field. It seems that you have so much space to get away from people, but it can soon be closed down.
Thompson has lost it. Fox will pick it up, and then he'll decide to hold on rather than risk a ball. There's only Bibb really he could have passed it to. Pearson. No progress made at all. Clark swinging the play left for Leo Casey, who looks for support. Tuta, Clark, that is a good ball, and Clark's inside pass is for Ian Smales. There's nobody there to take his inside pass. Simpson was looking for the ball on his outside. Now it's Terry Manning. A couple of tackles to go. Fox himself gives it back for Terry Manning, and Manning is in this time! A score for the Featherstone centre, and he, above anybody else, probably deserves a try. He's looked the danger man close to the line.
Well, they have tackled inch perfect, but I suppose you can take so much pressure and then it has to give. This was certainly the opportunity. Fox, instead of moving out, brought it back inside. Manning took it, 2 tacklers with him.
And it's been long overdue. Terry Manning's last try came in September against Hull's other professional side. He did get 2 against Hull Kingston Rovers last season in the Yorkshire Cup, so he obviously likes them as opposition. It's 6 points all. And it's going to stay at 6 points all. A miss by Fox.
Featherstone have tried to get it on the outside many, many times. Fox then takes a different route. He decides to run infield, slip it inside to Manning, who takes 2 tacklers over with him, catches the defence by surprise.
Parker. Speckman loses it. Featherstone will be grateful for that. It's half-time at Post Office Road, and it's all square here. Featherstone, having gone behind to an early try, got themselves back into the match just before the break, and it really is going to be a lottery as to who is going to win this one. And here are the bare details. Mike Fletcher giving Hull Kingston Rovers the first 6 points of the match in the first few minutes. Terry Manning's try and Derek Fox's goal leave us with a half-time score of Featherstone 6, Hull Kingston Rovers 6. The second half coming up after the break. Rovers come out for a second half which promises to be quite a humdinger. 6 points it is, 6 points each, and we can hear from Nick Powell on the touchline.
And with me, David Bishop, not played today. Very tight out there, isn't it?
Very tight. I think it's important. No, obviously they're coming down a slope. We bombed the ball a few times. In the change room, George said, you know, the amount of possession they haven't scored from it. So we know how tough it's going to be coming up, Leo. It's a question of possessing the ball and keeping hold of the ball, and you know, we know we're going to have to go first into tackling again.
And as a fellow halfback, you've been admiring Wayne Parker, I imagine.
Wayne's doing all right. Obviously, Foxy's directing things as well. But it's Wayne's first game after 5 weeks, and he's playing up very well. But I think the boys, more than anything, are tackling out of their skin, and I think that's going to be the crucial part of the game, is who keeps the ball at the end of the day.
David, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers.
Thank you to David Bishop and to Nick. No changes made by either coach at the resumption. For left, David, I remember David Bishop playing one of his early games here, and his kicking game was exemplary that day.
Well, I think that's important. Aga will be disappointed about some lost opportunities, but at least it's even at half-time with the advantage they've got. And George Fairbairn, as I said, is tackling, but he'll be pleased overall, but no doubt will spell out what's wanted this half, playing up the slope, tackling and possession of the ball, as David Bishop said, all important.
Let's have a look at those vital statistics then. The scrums pretty even. Hull Kingston Rovers winning 1 more than Featherstone. Against the head, neither hooker has taken 1. The penalties conceded, what about that? Featherstone haven't conceded 1. Hull Kingston Rovers have conceded 5. And the errors, well, we said there have been quite a few. Hull Kingston Rovers have made 1 more than Featherstone. And Speckman will kick. Not a bad kick, because it means Bibb has to start afresh from no more than 5 or 6 yards out from his own line.
Well, a good kick and good backing up then as well, because they kept the player with the ball, Bibb, who was picking it up exactly where he picked it up, and that's what's going to be important now, is knocking him back into tackles and keeping him upfield.
Derek Fox, as David Bishop said, is the one who pulls the strings for Featherstone Rovers, and that goal he kicked in the first half brought up the 200 points for him this season. Owen Simpson, a great gallop by him. Simpson has left the army. He was, if you remember, in the army a year ago. He's now a warehouseman. Unfortunately for Featherstone Rovers. Oh, well, I thought that Smales had knocked on there. Referee Morris said not. You thought so too, David?
I certainly did.
Fox. Pearson. There will be an irony if they score from this move. Oh, Manning throws it back. Sodge didn't pick it up, and the scrum has been given.
Well, already with Manning coming down, running strongly and hard, and Bibb coming into the line as well, it just goes to show that everybody now will want to be having the ball coming down the slope. And that's what they're going to have to be careful of now, Hull Kingston, that they don't get offside by being over-eager to come up in defence.
Sodji comes up the middle and he's still going, Bright Sodji, and he stretches those legs of his, and he keeps on going, Bright Sodji. He decides not to give the pass, and I think he was almost caught in two minds there at the last moment, and that's a real chance gone.
Well, that was an amazing run, because it was his strength really that kept him ahead of the tacklers right up until the last minute when he lost the ball. Let's just take a look at this. Look how he gets down, but it's his strength really and his ability to keep on his feet. But really, it was really being overwhelmed. He tried to give the ball out. It was that chance, last gap chance, that made he put the ball forward.
Both sides continuing to put the ball down in try-scoring situations. If he'd have held on there, they would have had a very good chance. Starting from midway inside his own half, Mike Fletcher. Can't get past Pearson's tackle. They do take the knocks, these fellows. Julian Barkworth has come in field now to show us his faces. A new name in the Hull Kingston Rovers side this season, as indeed are so many of them. Here's another of them, Chris Harrison. He's a big lad, is Chris Harrison, just as big as his brother Des. Here comes Paul Fletcher, and he was looking for the support inside. Dean Clark, the New Zealander, the international. Dean Clark had a short spell with Scarborough this season. I'm sure he's happy of playing First Division Rugby League. And on the last tackle, Wayne Parker goes for the drop goal, and it's a successful attempt, and it noses Hull Kingston Rovers a point in front.
Well, psychologically, that'll do them a lot of good, because they've come out this second half. They've really been forceful in attack. They've been resolute in defence. They've really pushed their way up there, and from the first bit of pressure they put on Featherstone Rovers, they've scored points on it. Let's just take it. It's inch perfect as a drop kick. Nobody near him, and that's all Bibb could do is watch it go over.
Last season, Featherstone Rovers beat Hull KR 3 times. Parker, shorter one for Speckman now. Promises to be close to the end as this, as Parker thinks of the kick, and that's going to be a very difficult one to take for Derek Fox. He's taken it well, as capable as ever. He's almost standing in for Chris Bibb there.
Well, that's a good player, isn't it? He sussed out that Bibb had gone up there out of the way there, and he was back as steady as a rock.
Casey nearly lost the ball. A few palpitations there on the Featherstone side. This is Ian Smales. We've seen him play in the centre and at stand-off half, now in the second row position. Fox. The ball out for Owen Simpson, and he has another go, and comes in field. Owen Simpson, elusive. Got such a good try-scoring record, both with Keighley and here at Featherstone. Now Fox kicks. A bit of variety in his play. It's left to Sodji to run it out. That he does. And met by the full force of a tackle from Martin Pearson, which leaves him on his knees. And leaves him further on his knees.
That was a tremendous tackle, and that just goes to show how you can hurt people really without being malicious about it. It really was a full-bodied front-on tackle, and that really did take the stuffing out. Let's just watch it. It really is textbook stuff. Just look at this. What a crunch.
Martin Pearson will be well pleased with his tackle. Bright Sodji will not be too comfortable at the moment about it. Then Sodji looks as though he's staying on. He's received his treatment from physiotherapist Joe Winter. Therefore the tackle is seen by the referee as one where he's illegally held down. And a penalty given. The local man made ground.
Good captaincy then, really, on behalf of Parker, because he steadied everything up and brought Hallis across quietly to make sure now he puts it into touch, and he's done that with a superb kick.
And the Hull Kingston Rovers fans on the far side of the ground from us really lift their team again here now, as they've done so often this season. I remember that match about 3 years ago when Featherstone beat Hull Kingston Rovers, and they didn't play very well at all that day, the Robins. Their fans stuck with them, and never better exemplified than this season when they were slaughtered at Halifax and the fans roared them off. And it's Hull Kingston Rovers' is Clark now, and he's done really well there, Dean Clark. 15 yards from the Featherstone line. It's Speckman, it's Emma. Is there a gap going to appear? Not for the moment. A drop goal maybe Parker. No, he fooled them all, and now he straightens up, and Wayne Parker gets to within 5 yards of that Featherstone line on the last tackle. They'll get Speckman moving, and Lyman, oh, he's not there. He was held up no more than a yard out, and it would have been a double movement if he'd gone for the try line.
Yes, it would have, but how delighted he would have been had he scored there on his return back there, an old Featherstone Rovers player. Just watch this, let's see how close he really came to score here. A long ball out here, he just gets outside one, he's hung on to, tries to force his way over, but he's still, as John said, a yard or two from the line.
Fox tricks Clark. Straight kick is fielded by Fletcher. He's got an ally here in Barkworth. He runs straight into a blue and white wall.
Good support of his fullback.
And off comes Wayne Parker. That might be a blow for Hull Kingston Rovers because he's the mastermind.
It certainly will. He's adapted himself. We did say he's been unlucky with injuries. It looks as if that has struck yet again. But it will be a blow, I would imagine, to their hopes here now, because he has been such an influential player.
Mike Crane will be the substitute. In fact, he's on. It's Mike Crane, the former Greatfield Juniors player, who played last week. In fact, he dropped his goal last week in the win at Wakefield. And it looks like staying close to the final whistle.
It does. Both sides are playing it hard, and it's a very tight game. Still looking, the game is looking for somebody now with some inspiration to make that clear-cut chance possible for either side to take advantage of it.
Interesting that both Bibb and Fox are staying rather deep at the moment. Bibb will be the one here to run it out. He's got Simpson alongside him. But he can't use him. Now it's Simpson. And away he goes, down the touchline. Back in field, Owen Simpson. Gives the pass as well. Trevor Clark is the supporter. And on his knees he makes another 5 yards. That was good to see Simpson working hard to try and relieve the lines. Fox, Casey.
Perhaps they should give him 4 opportunities out on that wing, because he's proving quite elusive.
He is. Simpson does look dangerous every time he has the ball, and here he has it now. And he's brought to ground within about 7 or 8 yards this time. Butts popping up on the left. Featherstone are trying to get Tim Sharp on. The word from the touchline is that it'll be Martin Pearson who comes off. As Fox tries a kick, it's dangerous. Trevor Clark's coming for it. Oh, it's not going to be a try yet again, because the ball was knocked forward by Brendan Tutor just before he touched down. Well,
it is a lovely feature of his play, Derek Fox, to come one way, draws the defence out for him to the right-hand side, then chips it awkwardly to the left-hand side and catches everybody out nearly. They certainly nearly did then from Hull Kingston Rovers' point of view, but a knock-on prevented the try.
And on comes Tim Sharp to replace Martin Pearson. Tim Sharp, younger brother of Hull's John. Barker getting away from Fox and nearly from Simpson. You do sense there's a very good team spirit. Hulkingston Rovers are playing for one another.
Absolutely. I mean, they might lack a little inspiration to make clear-cut chances for themselves, but they have defended extremely well. They played as a team well, and it really has frustrated, I believe, Featherstone losing those early opportunities and never really threatened too much after that.
Harrison wisely keeping hold. This time there'll be a kick. On the last tackle, Hallis with the left boot pops it high in the air. And they're all coming up here as Simpson clings on. And now it's Simpson's turn to run. And which way? Well, he turns right to left. Now he goes again up the middle, Owen Simpson. Spirited wing play.
Absolutely, but a superb kick again by Hallis, because he spotted that people were out of position and he did put it well. It really was only Simpson's ability to avoid tackles that got him out of an awkward situation.
The question now might be whether Featherstone have the reserves of energy after that midweek game against Warrington to get themselves back in front and to win the match. 10 minutes to go, only 1 point scored in the second half. Featherstone still trying to find a way through. This looks more promising for them, as up the middle comes Andy Fisher. Still Fisher, and he's got some more here. This will be a score. It's Chris Bibb. And that's what Featherstone have been looking for. Chris Bibb provides the answer.
Well, we said we were looking for inspiration, and it came in the form of Fisher, because Andy Fisher takes this ball and really zooms down the middle of the field. And really, when he does run, he runs with strength, conviction. He really caught people out. What a superb sidestep coming back inside. A good ball to Bibb, who was backing up. And Bibb was realising that he had it all to do, but no one was going to stop him. And he finished it off with a superb dive right between the posts.
And if that turns out to be a match winner, then Chris Bibb and Andy Fisher will know that they've scored a try worthy of winning a match. And Fox's goal puts Featherstone in the lead for the very first time in the match. And you've got to feel a bit of sympathy for Hulkingston Rovers, because they've certainly played their part in this match.
Hulkingston tackled well, but Featherstone Rovers used the ball, and it really is this Andy Fisher run that really sidesteps him, leaves him stranded. Bibb comes up on the outside, but look, the backing up there, Newlove is there, the defence is all caught, and no one appears in the picture apart from Bibb. That shows how far away he was from.
Great work by Mike Fletcher, and he's got Crane to within 10 yards out. Fletcher looks as though he's just picking himself up now. And Hulkingston Rovers showed their spirit again as they come back with Speckman. Very intelligent work by Fletcher there. He kicked ahead, carried on the move himself, and he's really set them up here. But Featherstone's defence has generally held good since the first 5 minutes. Hulkingston Rovers, they've been in front for so much of this match. Chris Harrison now. 12-7, Featherstone Rovers are in front. But Hulkingston Rovers looking for the score that would get them back into the lead themselves, a try and a goal would. On the last tackle, Zook Emma tries to punch his way through and can't do so.
Well, I felt that they should have done a little more with it then. Perhaps the long ball out really along the three-quarter line would have come to more effect. That was all too predictable, and really the defence was there in numbers to really knock Zook Emma back.
You've got to say that Andy Fisher played a very significant role in that try for Chris Bibb, and he might turn out to be the man who's just about won the day for Featherstone. Never say die attitude from Hulkingston Rovers, which George Fairbairn certainly will be proud of. Crane, and they've still not been beaten, of course. There's only 5 points in it, so if they could get a try, who knows? Andy Thompson, he's got Lyman outside him. The ball has gone behind, so Lyman continues. This is the last tackle though, and Fletcher is the one who put this kick in. And it's one last test for the Featherstone defence, and for Fox, knocks it down behind him and runs it out. That's all he needed to do, and he'll hold on to the ball. Caught around the shoulder that time. Once more, referee Morris said there was nothing wrong with that. And Hulkingston Rovers have won 2 more points in their fight to get away from the relegation area. It's been a great week for them. Warrington were beaten here on Wednesday night, and now Hulkingston Rovers, despite a really gallant effort, have lost by 12 points to 7. And we can have an immediate word with the man who was making his 300th appearance for Featherstone today, Derek Fox.
Derek, personal milestone for you today, and it came right in the end.
That's right, yes, we did leave a bit late today. I felt fairly confident that 1 point difference. We were getting there, 22, we had the drop goal for the draw. And unfortunately, Chris Pitt picked us, spun it past in the post, so really tremendous.
And let's have a look at the caption, which tells us that Featherstone have won this match with 2 tries, one from Terry Manning and one from Chris Bibb, and 2 goals from Derek Fox against Hulkingston Rovers' early try from Mike Fletcher, a goal from him as well, and a drop from Wayne Parker. David Watkins, what do you feel was the turning point today?
Well, the defence of Hulkingston Rovers was good, and that highlighted by second rower Andy Thompson's tackling stint. But Featherstone were becoming very predictable, but by moving the ball and freeing Fisher to make that superb break, and Bebb on the burst created the try and the winning points.
You had chances in the first half, which might have sewn it up as early as that.
We had enough chances to win the game, John, and the reason why we're where we are in the league is because we've not been taking them, and we should have, for me, scored 4 tries. A bit more vision, which is something we lack, and we could have had the game sewn up. But all credit to the lads, they battled hard, and at the end they got the result what we deserved. We're tackling too much, as it proved today, first half. I do think we gave away a little bit too much possession, and it got our tackle count up quite a bit. And midway through the second half, they just caught us having a little breather. And like I said, good luck to them, they scored a good try.
You had missed a number of chances in the first half, and you thought that it might not be your day at one stage.
Yeah. They're a good side, okay. They keep coming, and you know, you got to take your chances in this game. And yeah, obviously missing a few chances, and you know, we're struggling a bit, you know, but come out on top.
Why is the spirit so good after the bad times that you had?
Well, I put it down to one basic thing. I think we just haven't got as many overseas players as we've had in the last few seasons, and we're full of local lads. I think everybody knows everybody, and especially the supporters. We have a set relationship with them, and I think everything's just coming right for us.
I know you don't like talking about relegation, but obviously it's been a terrific week for you with 4 points.
It has, John, and hopefully, you know, we've got to set another target. If we can get to 22 points, I'll be happy, because I'm sure that'll be enough to keep us up.
Here are the match statistics. The scrums favoured Hulkingston Rovers, Lee Richardson heeling 11 to Trevor Clark 7, but neither side heeled one against the head. The commendably low penalty count revealed just 3 concessions by Featherstone, 6 by the Robins. But the error count was higher and couldn't have been more even. It ended Featherstone Rovers 16, Hulkingston Rovers 16.
Tracy Lazenby was Wakefield's hero in the day's closest finish, a drop goal 2 minutes from time to beat Hull. The day's highest score in Division 1 came at Weldon Road, Castleford 5th against Warrington 3rd.
Warrington have the reputation of being the meanest team in the league, so it was something of a surprise when Tuera Nickau was allowed to go straight in from a play the ball. David Lyon had replied with a penalty, but Castleford made the next breakthrough, with question marks again being asked of the wide defence, as Grant Anderson found a gap which really shouldn't have existed, and Lee Crooks' conversion made it 10-2. Cash's third and last try of the half covered 40 yards, with Dean Sampson making the decisive break before handing on for the willing Graham Southernwood to finish the job, just where Crooks wanted for his goal to make it 16-2. Warrington revived flagging hopes 7 minutes before the break, Martin Crompton sending Kelly Shelford over, and his turn enabled him to touch down. Lyon's second goal left the game reasonably poised at 16-8, but not for long. Castleford ripped into Warrington straight from the resumption, Graham Steadman naturally turning up to fall on Mike Ford's grubber kick for his 30th try of the season. A kick of a more mountainous nature from Lee Crooks eased Castleford into a winning margin. And now for one of those contentious tries that leave us all baffled. Players aren't supposed to steal the ball these days, but as Gary Mercer tries to hold off the tacklers, he seems to slip the perfect back pass to Richard Blackmore, who simply turns round and canters almost unopposed to further dent Warrington pride. Having conceded 29 points just down the road at Featherstone in midweek, Warrington were now on the end of another drubbing and were again caught out down the middle for Southernwood to poach his second try of a productive afternoon. Crooks kept piling on the goals and Cass rounded off a highly impressive performance with wingman David Nelson showing his power and growing confidence, holding off one challenge after another on his way to the line. Crooks took his personal tally to 6 goals and Cass strengthened their championship claims by 40 points to 8. Bring on St Helens next week.
The only First Division hat-trick came from John Devereux, the witness man of the match, as Halifax lose their 3rd game in a week. And David Myers, fighting for his place at Wigan, runs in from 80 yards against Swinton. Wigan back on top, but for how long? St Helens had the chance to return to the top by beating Leeds at Knowsley Road tonight. A tight first half, Gary Connolly's try on 38 minutes adding to an early penalty. 6-0 to St Helens at half-time. It was 7-0 early in the second half. Paul Bishop on the last tackle. And St Helens on course to maintain their strong record against Leeds since the war. They've won about 3/4 of the contests at Knowsley Road. And from Connolly's pass, Alan Hunt sped over, the man who also got a try at Headingley when Saints knocked Leeds out of the cup. Bishop from the touchline trying to make it 13-0 off the post. 6 minutes later, the clincher. Bishop beating Kevin Ward, who had another strong game tonight. Bishop again, Connolly in the line, the fullback Beavers, and Hunt away for his 20th try of the season. John Bentley must be sick of the sight of him. Bishop again, and the post again. But at 15-0, St Helens were out of sight, heading for their 6th league win in a row. 10 league victories out of 10 at Knowsley Road. Craig Innes did get his first try in Senior Rugby League to reduce the deficit, but Paul Bishop landed 2 late penalties, one of them after this incident, which resulted in Sean Wayne being sent to the sin bin for a foul on Paul Forber. Leeds' late consolation try was no more than that, Cavill Hughes' first of the season. St Helens 19, Leeds 8. So, a full results check on the Stones Bitter Championship. Castleford 40, Warrington 8. Featherstone 12, Hull KR 7. Hull 14, Wakefield 15. St Helens 19, Leeds 8. Widnes 18, Halifax 8. Wigan 38, Swinton 12. St Helens a point clear then, but Wigan have 2 games in hand. Castleford up to 3rd, though Leeds have played a game fewer. Bad news tonight for Hulkingston Rovers, who stay 7th. Wayne Parker has dislocated a shoulder again. At the bottom, no positional change. Featherstone, the weekend's only winners. They and the 3 teams above them still not safe, but Bradford now need a win from somewhere fairly urgently. In the 2nd Division, Sheffield's Mark Aston is sent off with Oldham's Tim Street. Then the Eagles lose Richard Price as well, and the match. The results: London Crusaders 28, Workington 7. Rochdale 44, Carlisle 14. Rydal York 4, Lee 21. Sheffield 10, Oldham 14. Lee have opened up a 3-point gap at the top. Sheffield will look forward to March the 15th when Lee come to the Don Valley Stadium. In Division 3, Eddie Rombo bags 5 tries as Dewsbury overwhelm Highfield. The scores: Bramley 38, Doncaster 8. Chorley 10, Whitehaven 16. Dewsbury 48, Highfield 6. Huddersfield 18, Keighley 14, and Keighley had Mark Fairbank sent off. Nottingham 1, Barrow 54. Scarborough 48, Trafford Borough 22. Huddersfield and Bramley still lead the way. Huddersfield's points difference, though, is much the better. Dewsbury 3rd, and either Hunslet or Batley will make ground tomorrow. They meet at Elland Road. Well, now the jigsaw, and we have a winner. No one recognised this man from the first couple of pieces, understandably perhaps, and we thought it was very difficult even when we added this information. But one sharp-eyed viewer did work out who it was, someone we've seen here today actually, Zook Emma from Hulkingston Rovers. And the prize of a VIP day out at next week's Great Britain-France test in Hull goes to Mr. D. Pine from Wibsey in Bradford. And we have 2 more tickets for the test on offer in a special competition to mark the 100th scrum down. We'll reach our centenary next Sunday, and we want to know from you how many tries have been scored in the first 99 programmes, counting just the main match each week, not the brief highlights at the end of the show. How many tries in our 99 featured matches? Send your guess to Scrum Down Competition, Yorkshire Television, Kirkstall Road, Leeds, LS3 1JS. And we need your entries, please, by Thursday. That's March the 5th. Scrum Down Competition, Yorkshire Television, Kirkstall Road, Leeds, LS3 1JS. And the featured game for our 100th programme could hardly be more mouthwatering. Third place Castleford against the leaders St Helens. And as we head for our milestone, Derek Fox celebrates his in style, helping Featherstone take a step towards survival in its 300th game. And unlike us, he's still only 27. Good night.